Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Revenue Roadmap. Today, we have Laura Dale with us, and we are so thankful and excited to have you today. Laura, if you would introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your firm, and obviously, we'd love to hear your journey. There's lots of law firm owners who have started out and have become an entrepreneur. And I think that's something that lawyers don't know as they're going through law school. Is there's this whole business side to law firms that maybe they don't do a great enough job teaching. And when you become an entrepreneur and you become a law firm owner, you have to get cases to work those cases, but you also have to run a business, especially as you expand into hiring more attorneys. You're now dealing with payroll and HR and all those things. We'd love to hear your journey and how you navigated some of those waters.
Sure. So I am an attorney in Houston, Texas. I'm board certified in family law. I'm a solo practitioner, but I have 12 lawyers here. We employ about 30 people at this location. We have a very deep breadth of skills here. I would say we do everything from your customary litigation that you would have in family law cases, but we also do a lot of appellate work. We work in federal courts doing Hague cases, so the return of children who have been abducted from foreign countries to the United States, and we also do Hague appeals in federal courts. And that practice is pretty much around the country because it's federal law and we can pretty much practice anywhere.
Is that always the case, or did you start in kind of?
I started out diversifying myself very early on in my career. I'm French speaking. I lived in France for almost a decade and went to graduate school there. And so when I came back to the United States, I was able to pick up a book of business that basically was francophones, French speaking clients. Houston, Texas is one of the world's biggest refinery cities. So we have a large contingency of French speaking clients here because of the refinery business. And also, our medical industry is very developed in our port. Early on, I distinguished or separated myself out and tried to market, not fish in the same ponds that everybody fishes in.
Mark.
I catered to the consulate. I was the attorney for the French Consulate General here, which is a French government appointment for 6 years, and just developed a practice. And then from the French consulate, spread up out to other consulates, working with the Mexican consulate, the Guatemalan consulate, other consulates here in Houston, trying to diversify my practice. So we speak a lot of different languages at my firm and kind of niche marketed in that area for a long time.
And did you always have your own firm, or did you work at a larger firm when you graduated from law school? Or tell us a little bit about that journey.
Okay. I always think of myself as a non-lawyer because I did not come from a legal background originally. I have a doctorate in psychophysiology from Louis Pasteur University in France. And then I worked in business development after that for quite some time. So I came to the practice of law later in life, and I came with a business background. I really felt like I needed to have my own firm from the very beginning because I really didn't think at my age, I had kids in private school, that most law firms would be able to afford me or that I could afford to work for a law firm just out of law school. So I did start out with my own firm and a partner. She and I started together. She was board certified in family law, and I didn't know anything about family law or practicing law, and she didn't know anything about business, but I knew a lot about business. So it was kind
That's a
of
good partnership.
yeah. And so for 10 years, we built a practice. And then eventually I went on my own, and that's where I am today. So we have quite a busy practice here at this point in time. We're getting ready to expand and add about 10 more people.
Wow. Congratulations on all that success. I think for our listeners who are that single attorney or thinking about starting their own firm, something you said I thought was really powerful is you found a partner who could do the law side of things while you did the business side of things. If you could go back to those early days, were there some key learnings that you and your partner had as you were working together in this partnership, trying to create a great relationship and partnership there, but also, hey, we need to do the business things so that our firm can grow. And I need you to go be the face of the law side of this business. Give our listeners some perspective on some of those early day key learnings that I could take away.
Okay. I think the most important thing, and I tell this to young lawyers all the time, is that if you're going to go out on your own, you need to have a business plan. I am an Excel kind of aficionado. I like Excel. I use Excel. I use a lot of other accounting software in my firm, but from day one, I had a business plan and goals and objectives, and that we tracked the building of our practice based on our business plan. And just about every single year that I've been in practice, we've hit our goals and our plans. I still have a business pro forma that I produce at the beginning of every year with my accounting staff, and we stick to it and really don't have any debt and have managed to build our practice based on our cash flow all of these years and our spreadsheet with our pro forma. That's really important, I think.
I totally agree. And I think it's something that it's like the not fun stuff
Yeah.
that are
Or the
so
very
important.
fun stuff.
Yeah, that's right, depending on how you think about it.
That's right.
But having a budget, having a plan, creating that opportunity to actually run a functional business is so important than just saying, well, I'm going to start a law firm and I'm going to put my name outside and people are going to figure it out. You actually need to put that plan together and need to invest dollars into building your firm.
If you don't know if you're in or out of, the problem is that you could very well be out of business and bankrupt and not know it just because you have some cash flow. It's important to know whether you're making any money at all, how much money you're making every month. These are critical things. And so, just from a strictly business point of view, you've got to know if you're in business or out of business, if you're overspending or you have some funds that you can invest in advertising. These are really key issues for entrepreneurs, whether they're just starting out or they're seasoned. It's really important stuff.
100% agree. I think one thing that we always talk to new law firms about, along with the business plan side of things, is the pipeline, right? Yes, you're a practicing lawyer. Yes, now you have your own firm and your office. Now you need cases.
Correct.
Talk to us a little bit about how you were able to develop a pipeline of new leads and cases in those early days, and maybe how you're doing that today.
Okay. Early on in my practice, I learned that the digital advertising was really key. And I was fortunate to work with someone who had built the advertising or the pipeline for the Chronicle newspaper here in Houston.
Oh, wow.
And he and I worked together looking at different platforms at that time, FindLaw, Avo, some things like that, and cross-pollinating. And mainly I made a determination early on to invest my advertising dollars primarily in digital marketing. And so over the years, many years now, we have built a pipeline, and a lot of our clients come through the internet. And even if they come from direct referrals, the internet supports and reinforces who we are. So even if they come from a referral, they're going to go and look online to see who we are, what kind of things we've done, how our clients feel about us. So I think really that's the key to our success is our digital pipeline.
I love it. It's so in line with how we think about it here at our agency. Rocket Clicks and then the firm that we own, Sterling Law, has been built 100% on the idea of being able to be visible online. We know that 42% of all traffic to law firms comes from the maps. So when we work with clients here at Rocket Clicks, we start with local visibility. Being able to get traffic in the local market around your office, being able to drive that visibility, and then going up funnel to maybe paid search or using like Google and LinkedIn and other channels like that. But the fact that you were a pioneer and understanding the importance of digital early on, I'm sure was a huge key to your success.
It really was, and that's confirmed to me every day, every time I see a client and I ask them, because I do, how did you hear about us? How did you get here? 9 times out of 10, they Googled and they found us. They were looking for the best this or the best that, and they found us that way. It's really, and we probably get somewhere between 700 and 800 contacts a month. It's a lot of contacts, and it's really driven by the internet, and it's very important to our practice.
100%. I think something nuanced in specifically family law is that normally you have two parties. You have the person who's thinking about, okay, I need a divorce, and maybe I want a divorce. Do I want one? We found at our firm that's a 2-year research process. And so we built our website to be able to cater to that audience, knowing that okay, I'm going to be thinking about this for 2 years. I'm going to need to do a lot of research. So our the middle part of our site is really built on just knowledge and experience. And here's what a divorce looks like, and here's how much it could cost, and here's how long it takes, and all that. And so that's one side of the coin. You have to make sure that you can provide those resources for the people researching for a long time before they make a decision. And the other side is, okay, I just got served papers, or my spouse just told me that they don't want to be together anymore. I need a lawyer today. I need to solve this problem immediately. And from a website perspective, that means you need a lot of calls to action. You need your attorney pages to be ready to convert. Because if I'm searching for divorce attorney near me, I'm going to need to go to a page that is ready to convert it and talk to someone right away. And so
Right.
being able to set up a website for both of those two parties is really important. So for our listeners who are just starting out or just building their site, you almost need to do it with both of those visitors in mind. And being able to do that correctly is super important.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we have obviously having as many contacts as we have every month, that could be wonderful and it can be a nightmare because you have to be able to handle that volume of contacts. And so over the years, we've developed a process where we have full-time people that process the initial contacts that we have coming in through the internet, by phone, however they're coming in. And that's really, you have to be able to devote full-time staff to meet those needs because, as we all know, if you don't respond, they're going to go stale within hours. It's really important that as you're building your practice, you recognize that you're going to have to devote financial resources to being able to handle the inflow of potential clients.
Oh my gosh, we could do a whole podcast on just the answer rate and the importance of having someone available to answer the phone and to call people back within like 15 minutes. That's a great point. I'm so appreciative of your insight here. As we close out, give us a picture of what your firm looks like over the next 3 or 4 years. What are you thinking about? What are you investing in? How are you going to continue to grow?
We have decided we like the kind of economic climate that we see coming. Houston is the most diverse city in the United States. We think that we are marketing in the right niche, that we have huge potential for growth in our marketplace. So we have decided to expand our space, which probably goes against what a lot of people are thinking now, and they're giving up space. But we are very much of a think tank type atmosphere here. That probably comes from my research education, where
Like
it
that.
was important to have colleagues communicating and discussing possible solutions all the time. So we're expanding our space. We're adding probably 4 more lawyers and some additional support staff, and expanding into areas where, again, we see potential for growth, but not necessarily where everybody else fishes. We like the diversity market, how diverse the cultural market is here. So we have Arabic speaking lawyers, we have Spanish speaking lawyers, we have French speaking lawyers. We have 3 of them, as a matter of fact. We really are pushing our services to different distinct areas in Houston that exist just because of the nature of our city.
So really doubling down on that diversity and being able to market multiple languages to multiple groups of people.
Exactly. And a lot of lawyers in family law in particular, they don't like to figure out how to divide retirement benefits in the UK or France or Switzerland. They don't know how to do it. There's no such thing as international family law, but you have to know a lot about French law or UK law or Swiss law in order to be able to determine whether or not you can divide assets that are located in foreign countries. And there's some real malpractice issues here for lawyers who are trying to practice in this area and don't understand how to divide assets in foreign countries or whether they can be divided or not. And then there are a lot of issues related to children when parents are living in different countries that are complex. And it's just an area that has really developed in our practice because of the nature of our city and who we market to.
Fascinating. I think a lot of, like you said, a lot of local family law firms are going to be really versed in their state's law, their different townships and stuff like that. But your point is totally true. In a market like Houston, you have to be able to understand where all these assets are going internationally That sounds a really distinct advantage for you.
It is, and over the years, we've just gathered a lot of knowledge about Mexico, for example, and how that legal system functions and what we can and cannot do, and what to expect in India if somebody takes their child to India, whether or not we can get them back, and whether or not we can divide retirement benefits that are with an oil and gas company and managed in Switzerland, for example, or Kuala Lumpur, or can we get assets in the Middle East? So there are just a lot of very complex questions that lots of law firms would just rather punt, and we're happy to work with those clients. And there's just a huge number of them and a growing number of them as people move here, work here, and the economic climate here continues to expand, and which it's doing. Houston is a really booming economy most of the time.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for your time. If our listeners are listening and they have an international complex question and they want to reach out to you, how would someone get a hold of you? And would that be okay?
Sure. They can go to our website, www.dalefamilylaw.com. They can Google Laura Dale and Associates. It'll come up. Our phone numbers are there. They can call. We have live chat on our website, so people are able to connect with us there. And we have staff that answers the phone. They can call anytime, and we're happy to collaborate or offer whatever kind of insight we can. We love to talk to other law firms, and I belong to the International Academy of Family Law Lawyers, and so I have a huge network of lawyers I work with worldwide or source for other lawyers who may need lawyers in another country, the UK, for example, or France.
That's amazing. Thanks again so much for your time today. Everyone, appreciate your time. Be sure to subscribe to our Revenue Roadmap podcast, and we will see you next time.
Sure. Thank you so much.